in terms of how to your creativity, that you bring to it?
You need to have clarity with everybody that you're working with, so you kind of like how it's going to, but also have an idea. You have a plan. I mean, the thing is that lots of people I've seen and I've mentored and I had people shadow me, and what I say to the new directors is have a plan and to communicate what your first shot is. Get that one done, and everyone kind of knows where everything else fits into place after you've done that shot, because it's coverage after a certain amount of time. And so it's about being confident enough on set to set that first shot up, I think. And hearing about all of these things that are going on, then and a relationship with a good casting director is invaluable. In that they've got lots of white middle-class men directing, and they haven't got as many women and people from diverse backgrounds. And so it's no better time to be a Black or gay director, or so that all well, they have a process. I mean, the thing is, kind of like, I don't really do much to work with character, other than, I mean, it's slightly different on a children's TV show, because I'll remind people of where they're coming from and where they are and what's happening in the. But with people on the soaps, they know their characters, and so it's small, very small tweaks, and you kind of like. I watched a director and he was jumping in with too many notes, and it was confusing the actors. And often I find that if you just wait, actors will do something that you like, and you can reinforce that, Lee.
So what would you say makes a successful audition from an actor?
If they've managed to, do all the things that we talked about, really, they kind of like, they've conveyed, they've understood what the scenes are about. And I don't know whether they understood what the scene was about sometimes. And they're a brilliant actor, but if they understood the scene, they would be even better. And so understanding the scene, I know it sounds basic, but
And how important do you think having an agent would be?
Agents are handy for legals and stuff like that, but they're not necessarily vital for finding work. Key one. But the thing is that having an agent is great, but having great work comes first. If you've got great work, then you'll get an agent.
It's not, you don't just sit back and be like, my agent should be getting me work, I shouldn't be doing anything. And I think at some point you might feel that way, but it's important, like you said, building relationships.
Well, I mean, my agent does get me work, but a lot of the work I get myself. I'll go out and network and speak to people, and I'll meet somebody, and I'll or it'll be somebody that I know who's working on a project, and I'll try and get in on it. There's sometimes it's you, but then and I've just started writing again this morning, so kind of like and I sent her clips to a couple of producers that I knew, and said, "Look at this girl; she's got talent." And nothing happened, but the next thing, she's off and she's doing her own sitcom. So other people spotted it as well. You know what I mean? It wasn't just me who spotted it and said nice things and whatever else. But this is somebody who was just filming themselves, very lo-fi, but she was funny and she was really good. And so and she's put it out on the web, and I'm now, I'm sure she's getting a great deal of success from it. And I've never met this person, I've never met this actor. I just spotted something and thought, that's really good. She's funny. And so that's one way to get attention, isn't it? But of thousands of different ways. But I think if you're making good content, people will help you.
So making good content, even if it is just on your camera phone, you could be just filming a little scene, like 2-minute scene or something.
Anything that displays your talents is good. is really good. But then I think look at other actors' reels and consider, do I stand out from all of these actors' reels, or is it just a mishmash of just, you know? And the thing is with reels as well, you tend to have stuff where it's all very shouty and screaming and with high emotion. And I don't really think that that's what people necessarily. And consider, do I stand out from all of these actors' reels, or is it just a mishmash of just, you know? And the thing is with reels as well, you tend to have stuff where it's all very shouty and screaming and with high emotion. And I don't really think that that's what people necessarily want to see, you know. I think be considered about how you do something and present something like mature and confident. You know,
in terms of show reels, so that's an interesting topic. What do you think? What would you want to see from a show reel, or have you heard from the casting directors? Like, what would you? What do you think?
Your best work there, I mean, I would certainly not start with something that's all screaming and shouting. Often on the soaps, I'll talk to my actors and I will talk to them about scenes, and I will say, you know, how often have you cried in these scenes? And they will say, oh, God, was crying all the time at the moment. I said, well, let's not do it. Maybe it's better to strip it back and hold it back, you know. And I think the same thing applies with your show reel. There's nothing wrong with a really good solid scene like that, but try and give someone context on what the scene is about, and don't launch in with something like that right away. I think show a bit of versatility. And to myself, if I see a reel and it starts with I hate you, it's always quite funny.
Boyfriend girlfriend argument.
Or boyfriend girlfriend argument, yeah. You know, you kind of like, or something, and you kind of go, look, the kind of, I know that lots of people have got these kind of things on the reel, and it might be work perfectly within the short film, but it might not be the piece that you want to see on camera. Something a little bit more measured, where you kind of see the person, you can read what's going on with them, and that's, you know, might be more interesting.
So would that be the same in terms of the difference between the film and TV? What you think should be in a show reel?
That's just a personal preference. I mean, I kind of like, you know, I'm just kind of trying to help actors honestly go, well, you know, there's something maybe to avoid. Well, there's nothing wrong